Hello, here's Triangle. Welcome to the latest episode of Talk. So in this episode, I want to show you my top 200 players in the MLB in the 2025 season, and because like today is April 19th, and the MLB start around. It's almost around almost 3 weeks. But in my top 200 player list, I was shown at before the MLB opening day. But just because my computer have some problems, so I cannot share my list immediately. So until now, my computer is back. So I will publish my top 200 list as soon as possible. And also another thing is, today I will talking about is my prediction before this season. All the things I considered is about their performance before this season. So but if I know some players performance recently, and I will add some points at the end of their parts. So without further ado, let's get started. So just like few years, so I will give my analysis with each teams in each teams, and I will start from the best team to the worst team for each divisions. So and then I will talk about six divisions with the players in my top 200 players. And also after I introduce my top 200 list, and I will list the total list of my top 200 players and my prediction of standings for the 2025 seasons. Okay, so the first division I will talk about is American East. So the first place the first place I predict in the American East in 2025 season is New York Yankees, and they got 92 wins and 17 losses. And about their top 200 players, their top 200 players, they got the first one is of course the captain, Aaron Judge. So Aaron Judge, he still had a very amazing season in last year, and he also his 58 home runs, I think, but he didn't play very well in the postseason. So and also the new season starting 3 weeks, but he still play very well. And the latest news is it will become the USA captain. It will become the captain USA of the Team USA in 2026 World Baseball Classic. So, and do you believe that Aaron Judge is almost 33 years old? So, you just think that he didn't play in the Major League Baseball. He didn't play a very long time, but actually he starts his Major League career in 2017, and he starts his major career in 25 years old. So, like compared to the players in his level, he starts his career late. So, but he still have a very amazing career for these years. Yeah, and I hope he can just keep healthy and just purchase his legendary. Okay, so and the second player I will show here is Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole actually after he won a Cy Young Award in 2023, but he got injury in last year, and he just came back in June or July, but he still played very well after he come back to the court last year. And in this year, he still got injured in the spring training. So maybe he will come back in May or June. But I think he's still the ace in the Yankees. That's undoubtedly. And the next one I want to mention is Devin Williams. Devin Williams, he is traded to Yankees this winter, and he is still the top closer in the league. So I think he's still. I believe he will become the new closer in the team. So of course he is still the top closer in the league, and absolutely he stayed in the top 200 players. And the next player I will show here is Paul Goldschmidt. So actually, Paul is around 73 years old, and he will be going into his end of career, but Paul is like it is his first season in the Yankees, and he didn't play very well last year in St. Louis, but I think he is still the top first baseman in the league. So maybe he's not in his peak, but he is still like above the average, and not only above the average, but also he is still like the top first baseman in the league. So I still believe that he can just contribute his offense to the team, and it is very important part in the Yankees. And the next one I want to show is Max Fried, and Max Fried is also he is also the first season in the Yankees, and he's from Atlanta. And Max also he's played very well in the past few seasons in Atlanta Braves. So, and last year he still got 3.35 WAR in last season. So he will play. He will play in very important role, especially in Yankees roster. So I think he will be the top two starting pitcher in the Yankees. Yeah, next one is Jace Chisholm Jr. Jace Chisholm, he is traded to Yankees from in the middle of season in the last year. So, and he played very well in the Yankees. Last year, he got almost 4 WAR, and I think he still played a very important role in the new season. And next one I want to show is Cody Bellinger. So Cody Bellinger, even though he didn't play very well in the last few seasons in Dodgers, but when he was in the Chicago Cubs, he just become much better in his batting. Yeah, even though the performance in Chicago is still not reach his peak, but last year he plays very important role in Chicago. Of course, this year in New York he is still a very important character in the team. So for Yankees, they have 4 MVPs in their batting roster. They have Aaron Judge, they got Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, and Giancarlo Stanton. But everybody knows Giancarlo Stanton, like he is very unhealthy, but so he cannot he cannot just keep contributing to the team, but we know he is still a very good batter when he was healthy. So if so, like I don't know how many fans are remembered that Stanton is played very well in the playoff last year, and he got the American Finals MVPs. Yeah, but in this time, because due to his healthy issue, I cannot put Giancarlo Stanton in my top 200 player. Okay, so the next Yankees player I want to show you is Carlos Rodon. Yeah, Rodon. Even though he got a struggle time when he was in the Yankees, but in the last year he become more better. So, and also he found he his ability before he came to Yankees. So I think Carlos Rodon, even though he will be never reach his peak anymore, but he is still a very important pitcher in the Yankees, especially in Yankees roster. I think he will become the second pitcher or the third pitcher. Yeah. And the next one I want to introduce is Anthony Volpe. So Anthony Volpe is the Yankees shortstop, and he starts to play in the major league. He becomes the everyday player in the Yankees. Started in last year, and actually played not bad, but in his first whole full season, maybe not very well, but it's fine. But last year is his second season. Actually, he played like as a shortstop. I think he played very well. He has a 3.4 WAR last year. As a shortstop, I think is much enough. So I think this year, I think he still can become more improved. I hope he can become more improvement. Yeah. And the last player I want to show here is Austin Wells. So Austin Wells is a very impressive player for me because I just saw him play the game when he was in the minor league. I think it's around 3 years ago in 2022. Yeah, I think in 2022. In 2022, Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells, they are still in AA, and I think at that time, I think Austin Wells is a better player than Anthony Volpe because his hit is very strong, and he has the discipline. You will not do swing and miss. It is very hard for him to swing and miss. Yeah. So maybe everybody at that court just watched Anthony Volpe, but Austin Wells is very impressive for me at that time, and I'm very happy for him when he was in the major league. So, and I hope he can become the everyday player in the Yankees in the next 10 years. Yeah. This is my expectation for him. So for Yankees, I got. So let me just show again about the top 200 players in New York Yankees. The first one is Aaron Judge. He got number 2. Garrett Cole has got number 40. Devin Williams, he got number 56. Paul Goldschmidt got number 66. Max Fried got number 80. Jace Chisholm Jr. he got number 84. Cody Bellinger has got 90. He's got 92. And Carlos Rodon he got 103. And Anthony Volpe he's got 118. And Austin Wells he got 189. So totally we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players. So there are 10 Yankee players in my top 200 players. Okay, so the first team I'll show is New York Yankees. And the second place in the American East is Baltimore Orioles. They got 90 wins and 72 losses. So the top 200 for Baltimore. So the first player I want to show is Garrett Henderson, and he's got a very incredible season for last year because he got 8 WAR last season. It is almost the MVP level, but he's very unlucky because we got Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. They also got a very important. He also got a better performance than Garrett Henderson, but it's still very incredible because not every player in every season can got an 8 WAR. So that's very impressive. So I still believe he can still play very well in this season. And the next one is Adley Rutschman. So Adley Rutschman, I think he's one of the best catcher in the league, especially in younger generation. So even though he didn't play very well last season, he only got 2.8 WAR, but don't forget he got a 5 WAR in 2023, and also in Fangraph they predict Adley Rutschman will get 5 WAR again. So I think he still play a very important role in this season. And the next player I want to show is Cedric Mullins. So even though Cedric Mullins is not a young core or is not in a young generation, but he is still one of the top player in Baltimore. And last year he still can got 2.3 WAR. So I think in this season he still can play a very important role, and he's a very important hitter in the team. And the next player I will show is Kyle Bradish. So even though Corbin Burns, their ace, just go to the Arizona, but I think there are still some of the young potential pitchers can do this work very well. And the player I want to introduce is Kyle Bradish. So last year maybe he got injured and come back in the middle of the season, but in this season I think if he can play in the whole season, I think he still can make an incredible performance for all of the fans. And the next player I want to show is Jordan Westburg. So Jordan Westburg, I think they're one of the top prospects, and I think he will become the everyday player in second basement. And last year, I think he played very well. He got 2.7 WAR, and this year, I think he will be improved to 3.6 by FrameGraph. So he have a very bright future, and of course, he's a top prospect of the team. And the next player I want to show is Zach Eflin. So he is also the other potential pitcher in the team. So the first one is Kyle Bradish, then the next one is Zach Eflin. Even though like last year he still played not bad, but he still got amount of expectation for his new season. And next player I'll show is Colton Cowser. So Colton Cowser is also their top prospect of the team, and he got a 4 WAR in last season. It is very I think it's very it is a very good performance for him. So I think he still can be in my top 200 player. And the last one I want to show is a very he has a lot of experience. He has a lot of game experience. This player is Charlie Morton. So for Charlie, I think he got some injury last year, but don't forget he still played very well in 2026 in Atlanta. So this year, I think, even though Baltimore have some potential pitchers and they will become very strong, but at this moment, I think they still need some experienced players like Charlie Morton to share experience to their younger generation pitchers. So I think it will become the middle rotation in the team. I think the third pitcher or the fourth pitcher in the team. So in summary, like they still have some top prospects, but and some of them are play very well in Major League, but some of them didn't play well, but there's an advantage is those players are very young. So even though they didn't play well in the first year, but he still have some spaces to improve themselves. Okay, so they got 8. So I got 8 players in my top 200 players. The first one is Adley Rutschman. He got number 13. And second one is Garrett Henderson. He got number 19. And next one is Cedric Mullins. He got number 86. And next one is Kyle Bradish. He got 121. Next one is Jordan Westberg. He got 153. And next one is Zach Eflin. He got 160. And Colin Cowser is got 165. And Charlie Morton got 179. So let's got 8. You still have 8 players in my top 200 players rotation. So I think Baltimore is still have a chance to win the championship in American East. So the third team I want to show you here is Tampa Bay Rays. They got 85 wins and 77 losses, and just everybody knows The Rays didn't play very well last year, and I think this year they want to. They still want to become one of the best team in the American list, America East. So. And I think they have a lot of experience to retool their team because the fan market isn't very large. So if they got an All-Star level or MVP level player, they usually didn't want to play in Tampa for a long time. So the top 200 players in Tampa Bay, I will show here is the first player is Brandon Lowe. Yeah, the Brandon Lowe, I think he's the best player in the past few seasons in the team, and last year still played very well. He got 2.2 WAR as a second baseman. I think is very well. And the next player is Ha-Seong Kim. He played very well in the past 2 years in the San Diego, and this year he played in the Tampa Bay Rays, and I think he's the top shortstops in South Korea. So I think he will play a very important role in this team. Yeah, and he also got some experience to play with very top players like Manny Machado, Juan Soto, and something like that. So I think it's very different environments, and I think you become and in Tampa Bay, I think you will become one of the top hitter in the team, and I think he still have many spaces to show his skills. Yeah, and next player is Yandy Diaz, and Yandy Diaz actually played very well for the past few years, but he had a struggle season for last year. He only got 1.94 WAR, and it is much less than much less than the WAR he created in 2023. So we hope he can return to his performance in 2023. Yeah. And the last player I want to show is Josh Lowe, the RF in the team, and he is also the only outfield player in Tampa Bay in the my top 200 players. Okay, so for Tampa Bay, we got 4 players in my top 200 players. The first player is Brandon Lowe. He got number 97. And next one is Ha-Seong Kim. He got number 98. And next one is Yandy Diaz. He got number 100. And the last one is Josh Lowe. He got 111. And the next team I want to show is Boston Red Sox. They all got 84 wins, 78 losses, and they all got the 4th place in the American East. And the top 200 player I will show here, The first player is Rafael Devers, and the Rafael Devers actually still played very well last season. He got 4.1 WAR in last year, and also he is also the top prospects in the Boston Red Sox when he just got into the major league, and he just grew up into one of the best third basemen. But this year, but in beginning of this year, he played very worse, and he became one of the worst hitter in the league, and I think and also the coaches just put him into the AAA to adjust his batting. So I hope he can just come back. He can come back to find his performance back. And the next player is Alex Bregman, and he's from the Houston Astros, and he became the free agent in the winter, and he decided to join the Boston Red Sox, but I think the most of the time he will play the second baseman, just because in the third baseman they have Rafael Devers, I think he will be playing the second base in the most of the time. But I think, but in these few games, I think he just become to the third baseman just because Rafael Devers didn't play very well. So I think he still can play in the third base. And then the next player I'll show is Jarren Duran. So Jarren Duran, I think he's played very well last season. He got 6.6 WAR in his last season. So and I think he is also a young core in the team, and in this year he is absolutely in my top 200 players. And the next player is Tanner Houck. So Tanner Houck, I think he played very well last season. He also got almost 4 WAR in his last season, and also I have seen his pitch. In 2022 in Fenway Park, and at that time he just the reliever pitcher, and I think and at that time he played very well, and I think so in the past 2 seasons he just become the starting pitcher, and he also plays a very important role in the Boston's rotation. And the next one is Trevor Story. So Trevor Story, I think the past 2 seasons he got a lot of injuries, and like his batting adjustments I think is not very well. So although he's still in my top 200 list just because he played very well before just because he played very well in 3 years ago, and I think if he is still like in this situation, I think he will be out of my list quickly. And next one is Masataka Yoshida. Like a lot of people think Masataka is negative assets for the Boston, but I think he's still above average player in the league, especially in DH position. So actually, and also I just saw his stats last year. just I think it's not very bad. And also it's just like a little a little better than I imagined. So I think maybe he's the border of my top 200 player, but I think he's still a good player. Yeah. So in Boston we got 7 players in my top 200 player. So the first one is Rafael Davis. He got number 26. And the next one is Alex Bregman. He got number 79. And next one is Jaron Duran. He got number 69. And next one is Gary Crochet. He got 143. Oh, I just missed Gary Crochet. So for Gary Crochet, I think he's a top prospect starting pitcher in Chicago White Sox, and he played very well in last season. And this winter he's just joined the Boston Red Sox. So I hope he can become one of the top player in the league. Yeah. So I just put him in 169. And next one is Trevor Story. He got 170. And last one is Masataka Yoshida. He got 180. So here are 7 players in my list. So okay, so the 5th place, also the last place in my American League, I will show is Toronto Blue Jays, and they got 79 wins and 83 losses. Although he's in the last place, but actually their winning percentage is almost close to 50%. So not very bad, but in these years, I think Toronto standings is around in this level, so they can consider that they will rebuild their team, or they only need just retool and find some the top free agent, and they can be strong again. I don't know, but it just depends on their managers. So my top 200 players in Toronto, I will show here. The first one is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So of course he played very well, and he got 5.3 WAR last year. And also, even though he didn't play very well for every year, but most of the time he still play a very good performance for the team. So like he just signed a 500 million contract, and in 14 years, and I think after he signed this contract, like that means he will always be a Blue Jays in his full career, in his whole career. And believe it or not, Vladimir Guerrero, I think he will become the most representative player in the Toronto Blue Jays. And the next one is Andrew Kirk. Yeah, that's an offense catcher. I think his performance actually played not bad. So I still put him in a nice spot. And the next one is Andres Jimenez. So yeah, the next player is Anthony Santander. So he is the one of the top player in Baltimore in last season, and he just joined the Toronto in this winter. So I think he will he will have be much expectation for the Toronto fans. And the next one is Kevin Gausman. So I think he's still a top player in the league. Also, he is still the ace in the Toronto. And the next player I want to show here is Bo Bichette. So actually Bo Bichette, like for the past few years, he played very well. Maybe as well as Vladimir Guerrero, but sometimes actually he played more better than Vladimir Guerrero. But he didn't play very well last year. He only got so maybe like maybe not very well, but he had contributed a good performance for the past few years. So I still have some respect for him. And the next one is Dalton Varsho. So Dalton Varsho is their center fielder. I think he still play very. I think he will become one of the top hitter in the team. And next is Jeff Hoffman. So of course he is the new closer in the Toronto, and he got a 2 WAR last year. And as the reliever pitcher, you can get 2 WAR. I think is a very good performance. And the next player I will show is Max Scherzer. So of course the legend. So of course Max Scherzer is the legend, and it is very comfortable to see him pitch, in the court. So, but in the last year he got injured in Texas. I think to him, I think nothing to improve. But the most important thing for him is to stay healthy and just keep contributing to the team and enjoy the game. And yeah, he's already the Hall of Fame player. So even though I didn't put him in too high in my ranking, but I think he will not defect to his legendary. And next one is Chris Bassett, and he is another pitcher in Toronto Blue Jays. And actually, for the past few years, I think he played very important role in the team. But for the past few years, I think maybe in the past few years, I think many players didn't play very well. So I hope he can like just find his performance back. And yeah. And the next player I'll show is Jose Berrios. He is one of another starting pitcher. So for Jose Berrios, I think even though he didn't play very well, but he is one of the prospect pitcher in the team. So yeah, so he is worth to put him into my list. And the last player I want to show you is George Springer, and he actually didn't play very well for last season, but based on his experience in Houston and some concepts and his past performance, I think to get an everyday player, I think I think it's not hard for him. So I think it's still not easy to win against the Toronto Blue Jays. And so in summary, I think I got 13 players into my top 200 player. The first one is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and he's got number 34. And next one is Alejandro Kirk. He's got number 49. And next one is Andres Jimenez. He got number 55. And next one is Anthony Santander. He got number 75. And next is Kevin Gausman. He got number 78. And next we got this Bobby Shade. He got number 83. And next one is Dalton Varsho. He got number 85. And next one is Jeff Hoffman. He got 126. And next one is Max Scherzer. He got 127. And also next one is Chris Bassett. He got 129. And next one is Jose Barrios. He got 138. And last one is George Springer. He's got 188. Yeah, so this is my prediction and my analysis for the American East. So the next division I want to share about is American Central. So in summary, I think it is not easy to predict the rankings of each teams in American Central. Just because last year we got 3 teams to get into the playoffs in American Central. Last year we got championship is Cleveland Guardians, and we got Detroit and Royals, and they got wild card, and so that means at least 3 teams which are very competitive. And don't forget, there's another team is Minnesota Twins, and actually he played very well for the past few years, but last year they got injury issues, so they just got number 4 in their divisions. So actually, in these divisions, they have 4 teams to have their strength to play into the playoffs. So I would think, but those 4 teams are very strong enough to beat the other teams, to beat the other strong teams like Yankees or Dodgers. I think that is still very hard for them. So actually, but in summary, in this division, I think except Chicago White Sox, the other 4 teams, I think they still have a chance to challenge the playoffs. Okay, so let's start it. So the first team I will predict Cleveland Guardians, and they will got 86 wins and 76 losses. And so for my top 200 players in this team, the first player, of course, I want to show you is Jose Ramirez. So I think Jose Ramirez is he is always a very stable and competitive player. His performance is always very top. He didn't have a time he's like he didn't play very well. Actually, maybe he's not a top 5, but he's top 3 or top 5 players. Maybe he's not a player like which player do you think is the top player in the league? Maybe your answer is always Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge, but you must know Jose Ramirez is always the top 10 in the past 5 years, at least past 5 years. Yeah, just I just start to rank my top 200 players. It's like almost. It's almost like 5 to 6 years, but Jose Ramirez is always like ranking like 5 or 6. So he is a very top player in the league. So the next player I want to show is Emmanuel Clase. So for Emmanuel Clase, I think for the past 2 to 3 years, I think he's a very top closer in the league. So of course, in this year, I think he will just keep being the top closer in the league. And the next player I'll show is Stephen Kwang. And so for Stephen Kwang, I think he is also come from their own farm system, and he just become more and more stronger in the league. And last year, he just got a breakthrough for his career, and he just got a 4.1 WAR. So I think it is very. So last year I think is a very breakthrough year, and this year I think he can just maintain his performance just like last year. And the next player I want to show is Bo Naylor, and Bo Naylor is their catcher, and actually for past 2 years I think he's become one of the top catcher in the league. So I think he will become he is also very important. He also has a very important role in Cleveland. And next player is Shane Bieber. So Shane Bieber, he is the ace of the team, but last year he just got injury issues, so he didn't play very much. He didn't play very much game, but if he's still healthy, I think he is still the top pitcher in the league, and of course he's also the ace of the league. Yeah. And the other one I want to show is Kate Smith. He is also a reliever pitcher in Cleveland, and actually he played very well in the last year, and played very well last year, and he also got 2.68 WAR value, and this value is actually more than their closer Emmanuel Clase. So I think he will become a very important reliever. Maybe he's an 8 inning pitcher, maybe. So I think he is also worth to be mentioned. So for Cleveland, I list 6 players in my top 200 players. So they will be Jose Ramirez, he got number 6, and Emmanuel Clase, he got number 28, and Stephen Kwang, he got number 44, Bo Naylor, he got number 125, and Shane Bieber got 150, and K. Smith, he got 162. Okay, so the next team I want to show in American Central is Minnesota Twins. So they got 83 wins and 79 losses. So for my top 200 players, I will show is Carlos Correa. So Carlos Correa, I think he's still one of the top shortstop in the league, and last year still got almost 4.3 WAR value. So I think he's still one of the top shortstops in the league. And the next player I will show is Pablo Lopez, and I think Lopez is one is I think is the one of the top one of the top pitcher in the league, especially in Minnesota. Yeah, and I think he will become. I think this year, I think he's still the ace in the team. So of course he is honored to be mentionable. And the next player I show is Brian Broxton. So Brian Broxton, I think for past few years, I think he's a very top player in the league. But the most important issue for him is his healthiness. So I think if he is healthy, I think he will be one of the top player in the league. So yeah, he is still one of the best player in the Minnesota. And the next player show here is Joe Ryan. And Joe Ryan is another top player, top pitcher in the Minnesota. Yeah, so I think he and Pablo Lopez, I think he will be the top two pitcher in their rotation. And next player I'll show is Ryan Jeffers. So Ryan Jeffers, I just mentioned last year, and he is one of the top catcher in the league. And last year I just ranked him in 187, and I think and this year he still play very well. So I will put him in 152, a little better than last year. Yeah, and the next player I will show here is Griffin Jacks, and I think he will become one of the closer in the team and in a new generation. So I'm really respectful for his performance. And next player here I will show is Royce Lewis. So for Royce, so I think last year is like it become a little struggle, but this year I think, but at least in Fangraph I think he will become a little bounce back. But yeah, so I think he still have a chance to prove himself, to put him into the better spot. And next player I'll show is Edward Julian. So actually for Julian, I think he is a good player, but last year I think a little struggle here. But this year I think, he is not only be a very important player, actually, especially in second baseman, and also like many websites like Fangraph, I will predict he will become bounce back this year. So I will put him. I will put him in the border of the top 200 player. So in Minnesota, I will put 8 players in my top 200 player. The first one is of course Carlos Correa. I will put him number 38. And next one I will put Pablo Lopez. I will put number 74. And next one I will put Brian Broxton. I will put number 77. And next one I will put Joe Ryan. I will put number 120. Next one I will put Ryan Jeffers. I will put 152. And next one I will put Griffin Jacks. I will put 178. And also we got Royce Lewis. He got 191. And last one is Edward Julian. You got 194. So this is the second team the second place in my American Central. And the third team I want to show is Kansas City Royals, and I will predict them got 82 wins and 80 losses. So my top 200 players in this team, so the first player is of course Bobby Witt Jr. So he played very well last year. He got not only 8, he got 10.4 WAR value. It is an MVP level performance, but it's just unluckily he met Aaron Judge, another monster in the Yankees. So he just got number 2. He just got number 2 in the American League MVP voting, and of course he's still a top player. He is one of the top players in the major league. So of course he's the top player of the team. And the next player I'll show is Cole Ragans. So for Cole Ragans, I think last year is his breakthrough year, and he just become the ace pitcher in new generation, and I think he will play a very important role. And of course, he's the first pitcher in their rotation. So yeah, of course, he in this year I think he will become. He just keep contributing his ace performance in his team. And the next one I will show is Salvador Perez. So I think last year is a little bounce back for last year, because like in 2023 it's like a little struggle, but last year it just become a little better. He got 3.2 WAR. So in this year I think he's still the catcher of the team, and he is also the important mentor in the team. Yeah. And the next player I will show is Jonathan India. So this year, so last year is also a bounce back year, and this year and this year I think he will keep. He's still a starter second baseman, and I think he still can like to contribute 2 to 3 WAR value in a season. Yeah, he's still a very important player in the team. And for Kansas City, I think I will put 4 players in my top 200 players. And the first one is of course Bobby Witt Jr. I will put him number 10. And the next player I put Cole Ragans. I will put him 140. Next one is Salvador Perez. I got 164. And next one is Jonathan India. I will put 168. So the number 4 in my American Central is Detroit Tigers. I'll put him 81 wins and 81 losses. So I think Detroit and Kansas City, I think both teams are very close. So if you put Tigers in number I think Minnesota, Kansas City, and Detroit, I think these 3 teams are very close. And even for Cleveland, I think it's not too far. So if you put Detroit in number 2, I think I still agree for that. But in my list, I put him for number 4, and I'll put 81 wins and 81 lose. So winning percentage is actually 50%. So for my top 200 players here, my top 200 players here, I will show the first one is Tarik Skubal. Of course, they're aces. And he just won a Cy Young award. So he just won a Cy Young award for last year. So he's still the ace of the team, and he's still one of the top pitcher in the league. And of course, if he can play in the 2000. He can play a WBC in 2026. I think he is still the ace of the team for Team USA. And this year, I think he still become one of the top pitcher. And for last year, he just got 5.8 WAR value, and this year he still can be predicted to contribute 5.2 WAR value. And the next player I show here is Riley Greens, and I think last year is still a breakthrough year, and his WAR value from 2.2 in 2023 and just jumped into the 4 WAR value last year. I think he's a very important outfielder in the team. And this year, I think, for the Fangraph, I think they think they will become more improvement. So I think this year, I think it will become more better. And the next player I show here is Gleyber Torres. So for Torres, I think he's a little struggle for last year in Yankees, but this year he's going to Detroit. I think he will become bounce back, because like Detroit don't have like some spotlights in New York, and I think he can more concentrate on his performance in his hitting. So, and also like for the past few years, I think he always can contribute 2 to 3 WAR value, but last year he's only got 1.7. So and he is still very young, so he can still improve. He can still improve his performance. At least he can return back to 2 to 3 WAR value for just like the past few years. So the next player I will show you is Kerry Carpenter. So last year you played the DH in his last season, and I think as a DH, I think he played not bad. He had 2.35 WAR value. So this year, I think he still become one of the important hitter for the team. And the next player I'll show is Alex Cope. So maybe last year didn't play well, but this year I think this senior pitcher, I think he just can contribute to find out his performance for past few years, and especially in Detroit, they don't have too much resources for the pitcher. So I think he still can find a spot to keep contributing his performance. So for Detroit, I list 5 players in my top 200 player. So the first one is Terry Skubal, he got number 45. And next one is Riley Greens, he got 105. And next one is Gleyber Torres, he got 110. And next one is Kerry Carpenter, he got 158. And last one is Alex Cope, he got 185. And the last team I'll show you is Chicago White Sox. And I think, last year Chicago White Sox they just got the worst performance in MLB history. He got 121 losses last year, but this year I think this year they will start to rebuild their team. Yeah, actually, Yeah, actually, last year, their rotation not for both pitcher and hitters actually not very bad, but they have the worst team chemistry. So they just got a last spot in in whole MLB history. And I think this year, I think they will start to rebuild their team. Not only for players, I think their coaches and their management are need to rebuild and need to rebuild their main goals to rebuild their team. So based on this, I think Chicago White Sox is still they still cannot have a good performance, and this is their first year to rebuild. So even though they will not, maybe they will not break their record, but I will put them in 54 wins and 108 losses. And for my top 200 players in Chicago White Sox, do they have top 200 players? Let me check. They have only one player. They have only one player for my top 200 players, which is Luis Robert Jr. But I think he will be traded maybe in the middle of this season. Because like they got traded a lot of players to other teams. But for Robert, but he didn't play. He had a very struggle season for last year, so maybe this is why he cannot be traded to other teams. So he's got number 99, and he is the only player I will put him in my top 200 players. Okay, so this is my American Central. So okay, because of the time issue, here's the wrap of this episode. Thank you. Next time, bye.